to not only making our exterior space beautiful and lovely and welcoming, but also representing our community as we join together with our siblings in celebration of Pride yesterday at the plaza here in Monterey. And so in our final week of our June series, we are living out loud as our full, authentic selves, recognizing that happiness is our birthright. And what better way to show our happiness and pride than with color and living authentically? Our founder, Ernest Holmes, wrote this in the Science of Mind textbook: "To be well, happy, and to express freedom is to be in accord with divine law and wisdom." The title that is published for my talk today is Living Out Loud. However, Spirit took me in a different direction. And so this is a little disclaimer to let you know that living out loud will weave its way in. However, Spirit led me in the direction of footprints. Yes, that was exactly what I said, footprints. Why are you taking me in this direction? And sort of a backdrop for this. I enjoyed going out to the water, out to the seashore, and doing meditation, early morning meditation. And I don't do it as frequently as I would like to, but while I was on vacation, one morning Spirit just said, go to the water, go to the water. So I went to the water, and I sat in the car and did my meditation practice. And following that, I decided to just take a little walk along the seashore. So I'm walking, enjoying the cloud cover and the mist, and listening to the waves coming in and going out, and just being aware of the presence that was around me, this creative intelligence that was around me. And at some point, Spirit said, look down at the footsteps. Look down at the footprints. Look at my wonderful and majestic and magnificent creation. And in doing so, I noticed that there's a lot of similar footprints, and what I was seeing was the sole prints of the shoes that people were walking in. Some of the footprints were individual, some of them overlapped, some of them reflected the going and coming and the movement of the space. And as I was looking at the sole prints, I started thinking and I started imagining, what is the character, or what is the nature of the individual that is walking in these shoes? Are they walking softly? Are they in a reflective mode? Are they walking a little bit more heavily? Are they experiencing anxiety or frustration or anger or joy or happiness? Are they in love with life? Or is life offering challenges to them? And as I thought about the challenges that may be people encountering, I reflected on this thought that every challenge that we encounter is an invitation to apply the spiritual principles, whether it is forgiveness, unconditional love for ourselves or for others, or the courage to take one step at a time. And then as part of my imagination, as part of my visualization, I tried to imagine the actual footprint, the individual pattern of the person that was walking in those shoes. You know, the impression of the toes, whether they were close together or spread apart. The arch of the instep, was it a high arch, was it a low arch? And then the heel, you know, is the person walking on their heel? Is, you know, what is this pressure that is shaping this design that is showing up on the path that I'm looking at? And then I remembered the statement by our founder, Ernest Holmes, in What We Believe, also known as our Declaration of Principles. We believe the ultimate goal of life is to be a complete emancipation of discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. And so as we reflect on footprints, as we reflect on living out loud, as we reflect on what is right in the world, we know that the seeming discord, the challenges that sometimes bring us to our knees or elevate us to those higher heights, are all a part of living in the spiritual environment, living as spiritual beings, as individualized expressions of pure spirit that we are. By living out loud and celebrating our individual and collective footprints, we're invited to draw inspiration from the vibrant cultures of our siblings reflected in their spirit of resilience. And these are our siblings in the LGBT plus community that we're celebrating this month. And I've shared this before. We have months, designated months that we set aside to celebrate certain individuals or groups or communities. And those individuals don't just exist within that month. They're a part of our ongoing experience. And so it's an opportunity to celebrate the life of everyone and to celebrate the life of our siblings in our various communities. And so just what if we celebrated another's greatness with enthusiasm and joy as a daily experience? What's holding us back from living out loud? Alice Walker, author and poet, wrote this in The Color Purple. Humans, especially humans who persist in trying to transform the conditions of life, are remarkably resilient. We experience so much loss, pain, hardship, attack, and yet we persist. Resilience is our nature. And we recover from things that we would be justified in giving up over and over again. Resilience is unveiled when we are triggered, injured, heartbroken, attacked, or challenged. Resilience is perhaps our most beautiful, miraculous trait. I am not afraid of what I came here to do. I am made of stardust. We are not afraid of what we're called to do. We are all made of God. And so this week, as we go about our daily experiences of living in this physical experience, I invite us to channel the vibrant energy of our own footprints, recognizing our individual uniqueness and resilience. The resilience is the ability to face challenges with grace, to rise above obstacles, and to not be afraid of what we are called to do, to continue moving forward regardless of the odds. And so by embodying the spirit of resilience, we access an inner strength that propels us toward our highest potential. Let us draw inspiration from the resilience exemplified in all cultures and bring this into our lives. Our spiritual practices such as affirmations or prayer or mindfulness are powerful tools that we can use when we are facing difficulties and also when we are facing those things that bring a smile to our heart and to our entire being. Spirit is the force that continues to guide us. And so when we are faced with difficulties, instead of retreating, we stand tall and declare, I am resilient, and I live out loud. And I draw inspiration from two sources as I bring this to a close. From the Bible, the prophet Isaiah wrote this in Isaiah 40 and 31. But those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings like eagles and shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And then the poet and mystic Rumi from the Essential Rumi wrote, out beyond any ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. So the invitation this morning is to wait on the Lord, to be of good cheer and to be of courage, and to bask in this field that Rumi refers to for a place of rest, relaxation, restoration, and renewal, so that we come back and live out loud an authentic life that we are designed to live. And I invite us now to say together our affirmation for the week, and this will be on our screen. I am the place where God shows up in living color. Let's say that again. I am the place where God shows up in living color. And I invite us to just allow the indwelling presence to make itself known as a name and nature of that which resonates with each one in their own individual heart. We each have a connection with a higher power. And however we identify that higher power is the source of meaning for each of us. And so as we come together in prayer, I affirm and know that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is whole, it is perfect, it is complete, right here, right now, in this very moment. I know and affirm and declare that I am one with this life. It moves and lives and has its very beingness as my life. And as this is true for me, it is true for each one that is gathered here in our spiritual center and those who are joining us via technology, recognizing that there is no time and space in God. There's only one unified source that is holding everything in absolute harmony and perfection. And so I speak my word this morning in gratitude for the life that I live, in gratitude for all of the marvelous things that are taking place in my life, knowing that I live as the grace of God and that I show up authentically and as my true self, and that as I live out loud in peace and harmony and in excitement with all beings. And as I accept this truth for myself, I accept it for each one, knowing that as we uncover the layers of doubt and fear and anger, as those dissolve back into the nothingness from whence they came, what emerges is love, unconditional love, embracing one another and recognizing that I am because you are, and you are because I am. I speak my word this morning, healing those places where there is brokenness, healing those places where there is a false sense of separation from spirit. Healing those places where hearts are broken, where a loved one, a close friend, a partner, has moved off of the mortal plane into immortality, and we know that each time we think of that individual, we bring their presence into our memory, and that is an example of eternal life because they live on in our hearts and memories. So may the memories bring a smile to our heart and a smile to our entire being. I speak my word this morning for those who are desiring right livelihood that supports and sustains the goals and the dreams and the visions that each one has for their life, knowing that each time a request is made into the universe, as we speak our word into the universe, it says yes. It says yes to every request. And so we are to be mindful of the words that we speak, knowing that the words of our mouth and the meditations of our heart make a difference in our lives and in the lives of those around us. I honor places where people are gathering in the name and nature of love, in the name and nature of oneness, recognizing that our paths may appear to be different. And at those points where we intersect with peace and harmony and joy. And we take that peace and harmony and joy and we spread it out as we travel on our individual journeys, knowing that all paths lead back to this place that is called home, however home is defined in each heart. And for that which I do not have words for in this moment, for that which remains unspoken in my heart, yet known in the mind of spirit, I give thanks. I give thanks for everything that there is in this marvelous life. And I release this word now into the universal law of love, knowing that love propels the law into action. And I know that the divine, right, and perfect outcome is the only result that will be manifested in my life and in the life of all. And for this, I am truly grateful. And if any of what I have said resonates with you in any way, I invite you to affirm it with me as we say together, and so it is. And so it is. I just want to take this moment to remind those of us who are here in the center this morning that we have a prayer table over to my left and to your right. We have prayer request forms on that table, and we invite you to fill out a prayer request and leave it there for the ministers and the practitioners, our ecclesiastical team, to be with you in prayer. And it's an opportunity. I know sometimes we feel that the only time that we can go and request prayer is when we're facing a challenge or there's a crisis in our lives. We, your ecclesiastical partners, want to celebrate your joys with you also. And so we can use a prayer request form to celebrate and to acknowledge the goodness that appears and shows up in our lives. And I invite us to share in the abundance. We have an abundance affirmation on our screen. I invite us now to say that together. I recognize the presence of God within as a source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the uninterrupted flow of abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And each donation that you offer to our center provides us with the opportunity to continue to expand our programs, to bring gatherings like this on Sundays, to reach out through social media and to reach out through Zoom. And so we really appreciate your donations. And the greeter will pass the basket here in the center for your gifts and for your donations. And I also would like to take this opportunity to remind those of us here in the center, as well as those who are still viewing us, that we are in the midst of our Raise the Roof campaign. And this is to provide funds for the repair of our roof before the rainy season starts. We have a goal of 40, is our goal 4,500? Our goal is 4,500. And as of today, we are at 1,900 of that goal. No? We're 2,500. Yay! Yay! Yes, 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 yes. So thank you for that. And so I would like to wish a happy 4th of July and Independence Day to our viewing community, knowing that everywhere you are, right where you are, will be the perfect right celebration for you. And for those of you who are viewing that may be in the general Monterey area, our own Suzanne is hosting a 4th of July barbecue at her home in Spreckles. And there are a few handouts on the tables in the fellowship area. Suzanne is welcoming all of us to come and be a part of this celebration. And it's a potluck. Thank you. We love our potlucks. And so we invite our Facebook and YouTube family to join us next week as we begin our theme for the month of July, Rolling in the Deep. We will explore how the ocean, with its vast darkness, becomes a place of safety and powerful teaching tool. And here we will reframe light and dark, not as good and bad, but as essential elements of the ebb and flow of life. And so we say good morning, we love you, and God bless you to our Facebook and our YouTube family.